Hi, BookTube. It's Friday. It's time for Friday Reads. This is my second or third time, actually, trying to do this. I keep stopping for a coughing fit. Get those still every so often. Anyway, as I say, it's Friday, so it's been an odd week for me. I haven't read as much as I'd hoped to. Been extremely fatigued, more than usual. Um, and sort of dozing off. So reading at times has been a little difficult because I sort of just doze off in the middle of a sentence or starting to. Be nice if I could actually fall asleep properly, but that hasn't happened for a long time. But anyway, yeah, it's but I have read a few things. Like I say, I last week I read 4 books, and then this week I was expecting to read 4 as well, but I didn't. I'm on the 4th one, but I'm like probably not even quarter of the way through. But I don't think there's any order to these. But this week I had read the first volume, the first Bulldog Drummond volume by Sapper, who's actually the pen name of Herman Cyril McNeil, H.C. McNeil. He was actually in the Sappers during the war, and he began writing, and they couldn't use his real name, so he used Sapper, and he wound up writing 10 Bulldog Drummond books, and I think as far as I know, or memory, and I'm pretty sure that somebody, I haven't checked this, but somebody else continued on with a few more novels. Excuse me, because of my coughing fit, I just need to blow my nose, but I'll cover it up. Please excuse that. I'm not gonna start a video over again just for that. So, but yeah. So this was written in 1920. So he wrote 10 novels. I got the first 2, and I enjoyed so much the various TV, not TV. What am I talking about? Old film series. They started making them silents, but I've never seen any silent, if there's any still existence. The earliest that I remember is with Ronald Colman and Joan Bennett, a very very young 19-year-old Joan Bennett with blonde hair. I think that was her original color before she went brunette later, but that was 1929. And they're just fun. They're just fun. And this is the introduction of the character. He's demobbed, like it's a year or so, a couple years after World War One, and he is bored. He wants some adventure. He's sort of a ne'er-do-well, so he doesn't need to work. So he puts an ad in the paper to say, adventure required, we'll do basically anything. And then, he gets a whole bunch of responses, and his sort of manservant slash valet slash whatever, hired gun, everything, sort of helps him sort of pick one, and he's convinced it's a beautiful girl. And it turns out to be a beautiful girl who says that she's in distress. Her father, there's a problem, and but we already know sort of what the problem is, because it starts out at the beginning with this sort of little conference of super villains, super crime, international crime, and that's where it sort of stems from. And he gets entangled with it, and he helps her, and he's it's just unbelievable. I guess it's a proto sort of James Bond in a way, pre-Bond in many ways for Fleming. He does just outrageous things and doesn't get killed. He's very flippant to people. They got a gun on him, and he'll be just cracking jokes back and be sarcastic. but he doesn't get killed. You know, they sort of, we're not going to kill you today. We'll kill you tomorrow. And that gives them time to escape or to do whatever. Uh, the whole premise sort of is that they want to turn the United Kingdom into another revolution, but it's not like, they get these hapless people who believe in sort of they're not hapless, but they believe in a revolution, to help the workers and that, from the oppressed of the rich. But that's not what the organizers care about. They just want to get the loot. But they keep talking about, Bolsheviks and commies and stuff like this. And, well, they don't really use the word commie, but it's communist Bolsheviks. And they don't really talk about the actual thing about socialism or anything like that. And he refers to some as ragged trousered Bolsheviks. So there's a reference there to Trestle's the ragged trousered philanthropist. If I got that right, it's right here actually. It's right just outside of the camera. Which was, this is 1920, so I think that came out in like 1915 maybe, if memory serves right. But anyway, it's like I don't really like, well, obviously I don't like the politics of it, but it's a fun read. It's just because there's a sentimental thing with me with the films, and I like the films. Many had played film. Ray Milland played John Howard for a long time. There were several others. There might have been 30, 40 films in total, and they sort of remade the same one a few times with other actors as Bulldog Drummond, and they've switched him from being a pilot to other things, and he enlists his friends in the help with this, and it's like he's sort of he'll do, like, he wants this adventure. He'll literally do anything, especially if it's a pretty girl. That's the story. But it's well written in the sense that it's very enjoyable. It's punchy dialogue, and it's easy to read. You can just, like, the introduction is by Richard Osborne, which I believe is the guy. He's a big sort of Woodhouse scholar as well. But he talks about sort of its place in sort of this type of fiction. But he says you can just sort of scan down the middle of the page and read every word, or a few words from the page, and you get the idea. That's sort of how it is. But yeah, I definitely, if you like this kind of thing, then yeah, it's something that I would recommend. If you want something serious, then no. But it's fun. It's just a fun read. Now I gotta find space for it. There we go. And with my ongoing Aldous Huxley, rereading some and not, this was reread Antik. Beautiful cover. The most of the vintage ones have this cover. Yeah, well, I've said enough about those spines. But anyway, this is it's typical sort of Aldous Huxley that I see. It's like, you sort of read and you go, what are you doing? It's like, there's these long diatribes of philosophy and politics at times, that the characters just spouse for page after page, but they're interesting. That's the thing. It's not it's interesting more so that it's entertaining in the sense that it's funny at times. It's very witty, and the dialogue at times is very witty. And there's like a play in here. Like Huxley also wrote plays, but there's a play that he's got the dialogue for it, and it's like the worst play you could ever, conceive of ever seeing pretty well. It's just so bad, and it makes it so funny in that way as well. It's basically it's about the character Theodore Gumbrill, who's a teacher. I think he's teaching in Oxford, and like his father's an architect, and his father espouses a lot of architectural philosophy that's very interesting. But then, Theodore Gumbrell wants to have a little more excitement, so he wants to move to town, to London. He's got some rooms there, so he's hanging out with sort of reprobate friends, and he sort of meets a few women. It's very open sexually, and this was written in 1923, I think it was. Trying to look here. Yeah, 1923. And it's got a biographical introduction by David Bradshaw. I think he did the other one too for Chrome Yellow. But this is his second novel. This is Huxley's second novel. But the claim to fame, or at least Gumbrell Theodore is hoping, is that he's created some pneumatic trousers, meaning he's tired of sitting down on hard concrete or hard wood, so he makes a pair of trousers that have an inflatable sort of little bum that it's soft to sit on, and he thinks that's where it's gonna take off. And there's an artist who's sort of a failing artist. There's a widow, and it's just it's like eccentric characters. Characters that have more money than they're spoiled brats, and basically. But I do like his stuff. This is the last one that I have of Huxley at the moment. I do want to. My aim is to read them in order, the fiction in the order that he wrote them. So I'm need to get the next novel, which I can't. Should recognize it here from the list. Those Barren Leaves is the next one that I need to get, but that'll be a while before I get that, a few months. But yeah, Aldous Huxley is always worth is worth looking at. It's like, don't go, like, my suggestion is, don't go into it to have a brilliant story and plot or anything like that. It's there's lots of ideas, philosophical ideas that it ping across. I don't know if it's classed as sort of stream of consciousness or not. I don't think it's quite that way, but not a lot happens. Like I said, that's the sort of plot. Is Theodore Gumbrell that's he's a teacher, he's a bit bored, he wants some excitement, moves to London, and he creates, and it's his interactions with his friends, and he creates these pneumatic trousers that he thinks he's gonna be rich on, which he's already fairly rich. He's independent, or his father is. But anyway, yeah. And the next one for the film this week. Can I reach the film? Do I have it here? Sure I do. There we go. That's it. Yeah. Some Must Watch by Ethel Lena White. She was a very popular novelist at her time in the 30s, and this was written in 1933. It's the basis for the film Robert Siodmak's The Spiral Staircase with Dorothy McGuire and Ethel Barrymore. They're sort of the bigs, and George Brent as well. I will talk a lot more about this tomorrow. I have to rewatch the film. I haven't seen the film in like 25 years or so I'm looking forward to it. But I will say I thoroughly enjoyed the book. I just loved it. And I've only read one other novel by her, as far as I'm aware, and that's the is it The Wheel Spins? I think it is. It's the basis for. Yeah, it doesn't say here. It's the basis for Lady Vanishes, Hitchcock's Lady Vanishes, which is a fabulous film as well, and a fabulous book. But yeah, I'll get to this tomorrow I'll go into more detail. But yeah, it's definitely a recommend. But I will explain more about it. I won't take the time now. And then the fourth one that I didn't get to finish, I started last night and I barely touched it today. I'm like on, well, I'm just 50 pages in of 220 pages. Is one of these detective clubs, Collins uh, detective clubs, the Mayfair Mystery. I just love these covers. Love these covers. And I want to get the rest. I was trying to look to see. It's like I got like a number of 38 of them or 58. But they might, a lot of them might be out of print now, and then these were like I think $9.99. Yeah, it came out at £9.99 for the hardcover, and now they seem to be reprinting the paperback for £8.99. It's like, why? Or $7.99, one or the other, but why? But anyway, they every one I've enjoyed, and I'm so far really enjoying this one. Um, this was written in 1929, and this edition is 2015, and they all have fabulous introductions. And this one is a little bigger than most. It's by David Braun. It was written. It says April 2015 is the date on it. Now he goes through a little bit of a history with the Collins Crime Club and the Detective Club, which is fascinating. And it's like it was, yeah, William Collins and Sons Company Limited was celebrating exactly 100 years of book publishing when in the spring of 1919, Godfrey Collins and his staff announced the first detective novel, The Skeleton Key by Bernard Capes. So yeah, and then they had various lines, a Western line. The Detective Club was a reprint of either ones they mostly that they did, I think, but even others. But it was a cheap reprint that was sort of killed off by Penguin paperbacks. But these are cheap cheap hardcovers as well, but they're still just beautiful. They're beautiful, and I do want to get them all. This is written by Frank Richardson. Um, I was thinking it may have been the Billy Bunter writer, but it doesn't seem to be, and I just haven't connected anything. But this Frank Richardson seems to be a person that didn't like facial hair, and he coined the term face fungus. And there you go. He railed against it, and he makes fun. Everybody who has any facial hair in here, it's either somebody making fun of them or he makes, in the narrative, some remark about it. So Frank Richardson did not like facial hair. Anyway, so yeah, so I'm looking forward to finishing this. And I'll do that sort of. I'll read some more this evening, and tomorrow I've got to watch the Spiral Staircase tonight. Next week, I'm sort of doing 4 books as well, and my sort of floater book, which can be a fifth one as well, is another one of these Collins detective clubs. There's one, Trent's Last Case by E.C. Bentley. This is The Crime Club, Frank Forrest and George Dilmont. Late CD Scotland Yard was Frank Forrest, I guess. But just look at those covers. They're just amazing. So to be one of these, I haven't really decided which. The Noose by Philip MacDonald, a Colonel Gethrin case. And yeah, so, it'll be one of these 4 because I dragged out another 4. It'll be 1 or 2 of them. And then The House Opposite by J. Jefferson Farjian, detective thriller, The House Opposite. And you got that, and then beautiful back cover as well. So it'll be one of those, 1 or 2 of those. That I'll be reading, and then like with Aldous Huxley, another writer that I am poised to reread. Well, I haven't read everything of hers, but I like her nonfiction. I like her essays much better than her fiction. But it's I've decided to read her fiction in chronological order that she wrote it, and that's Virginia Woolf. And The Voyage Out is the first. This has Room of One's Own and The Voyage Out, but I'll be reading The Voyage Out first. That'll be this coming week, and it's her first novel that was written in 1915, I think it was. Um, yeah, it doesn't say, but this is a cheap because I picked up all her stuff that Wordsworth Classics did, and they're £2.25 per book. You can't go wrong with those with that. So I have no qualms of reading through and get when I got those because the price was so cheap. So that'll be another one, and then I'm gonna read the second novel in Anthony Pole's Dance to the Music of Time, Buyer's Market, in this omnibus edition, three novels in each. And this is the University of Chicago Press. That was written, Buyer's Market, 1952, I believe. Yeah, 1952. And again, as I mentioned, this is the four books do sort of a panel of most of the photo picture of Nicholas Poussin's, or however you pronounce his name, Dance to the Music of Time. He was an artist from 1639, or well, it was painted 1639 to 1640. And that's the reason why I got these. Is the University of Chicago Press ones. There's been many, many, omnibus editions and separate editions. Um, Steve Donohue's put up some nice ones. They're they're mass market paperbacks. I think they're bantams. I remember seeing those too. They have the or at least most of them I believe have sort of a die cut. Um, Cover, and then on the inside they have a picture in there. It's like the seasons: spring, summer, winter, um, spring, summer, autumn, and winter, or fall. I can't remember which they use, but yeah. So that'll be that one. Now again, I'll be doing um, another. Sorry, just looking at the time. Another film, book to film, but I'm letting you choose out of four. So everybody, make a comment that is interested, obviously, and let me know. Um, there's the possibility of "Farewell to Arms" by the book by Ernest Hemingway, published in 1929. The film is 1932. It's a Frank Borzage film. He did fabulous silent films. Um, but anyway, this is with Helen Hayes, Gary Cooper, and Adolphe Menjou. Um, and so there's that as a possibility. And just to sort of mix things up a bit, there's a possibility for a silent film. This is a bit of a slight cheat, but not so much. Um, it's the book is House of Fear by Wadsworth Camp, and the book is The Last Warning, 1929. It's a Paul Lenny film with it's a Universal film. What's her name? I'm trying to remember her name. The actress Linda LaPlante and Margaret Livingston is in it. Yeah, Margaret Livingston. Um, Now, would I say it's a bit of a cheat? the film is really based on the play that is based on this book. Now, I'd like to get the play, but it's like somebody's got like I think 100 and some pounds or something like that for a ratty paperback, like a student, actor edition, uh, play of it. It's just ridiculous. But I wouldn't mind reading the play. So this is once removed based on the book. Well, close enough. Um, so there's that possibility. Then we go to something that was sort of it's semi a silent film as well. Um, the book is All Quiet on the Western Front by Eric Maria Remarque, and the film that was done in 1930 is by Louis Milestone, and starring I forget his name now. Lou Ayres. Um, Again, it's a Universal film. Now, this is not the proper edition that I want. Because there is a silent version that was released for people who, or not people, but for theaters, cinemas that did not was not yet wired for sound. And there is an edition out there, a Blu-ray edition that has the silent version and this sound version. That's the DVD that I want to get because there's not much in the way. There's no booklet with this. Yeah, there's no commentary on this. This is just very basic, but it was very cheap. So I didn't have it in any format, so I thought I'd buy this. It was like, £4 or £5 or something like that for a Blu-ray. But it's a good transfer, but it's just, as I say, it's not the version or the edition of Blu-ray that I want. Would think, but anyway, there's another example is our possibility is All Quiet on the Western Front, and then lastly, going back to, and I've done one, maybe two, Graham Greene films. This is A Gun for Sale, and the film is This Gun for Hire. Veronica Lake and Robert Preston and Alan Ladd as well. Alan Ladd and Veronica Lake. It's the first pairing, I think, of Veronica Lake and Alan Ladd. This is 1942. It's sort of a film noir type thing, but it's based on the Graham Greene novel. I can't remember who's the director of this. It's sort of nobody. Frank Tuttle. He's prolific director from the time, but yeah. So here we go. We've got let's reiterate: A Gun for Sale / This Gun for Hire. All Quiet on the Western Front. We've got House of Fear and the Silence, Paul Lenny Silence, The Last Warning, and A Farewell to Arms. The book is by Hemingway. Yeah, so do leave your comments below what you'd like for me to do. If nobody's interested, I get no comments, then I'll choose myself from one of those four. But it'd be nice just to sort of see what everybody would be interested in doing. And I know I'm not going to go into details of what each story is about. That's easy enough. If you are interested, then yeah, it's probably best just to Google and you can get a little synopsis of the film / book and see what you're interested in. So that's it. If nobody's aware, I've restarted my shelf tours, and I'm doing my sort of transport section. I did the first shelf, so I got 1, 2, 3, 4, seven more shelves, I think, to do of transport. So I'll be doing one on Sunday, and then probably another one on Wednesday. Do it that way or something like that, or maybe another one on Friday. No, maybe not. I don't know. I'll figure it out. But one definitely on Sunday. The second one on Sunday, I'll be doing. And if you are interested, in just look back, and you'll see my shelf tour. So I think that like the 30 some shelf tour, and that's not even denting the number of shelves that I have here. But yeah, so I hope everybody's been doing well for the week and have a good weekend, good reading. And here's, knocking on wood that this coming week is a good reading week for me, better than this week. And maybe I can get caught up, at least do 4. Well, if I did 5 books, then I'd be very, very happy. Uh, but otherwise, I will see you on Saturday for Spiral Staircase / Some Must Watch, and then on Sunday again for the shelf tour. Take care, BookTube.